Just a few years ago, this $150,000 Range Rover was arguably the best luxury SUV on the road. Now it's just on the side of the road. I bought this truck looking to ball on a budget, and I did just that for 3 whole days until it started spitting and sputtering in the middle of traffic and left me broken down in this parking lot. I spent around a day trying to diagnose all of our problems, and when I finally got it started, it would immediately reek of raw gas and billow smoke out its tailpipes. It's pretty clear we have a problem with our fuel system, and very possibly a failed fuel injector. A fuel injector is supposed to pulse and send fuel only when demanded, but a stuck open fuel injector will just dump gas the entire time, sometimes while the car is even shut off, and while this will cause all types of problems, that excess fuel will exit right out the exhaust, and that's why we likely have our smoke. Immediately after getting the car running, I pulled all of its spark plugs and used my scope camera to look for a puddle of fuel in one of our cylinders. First off, I noticed pretty much all the plugs had damp tips and smelled like gas, but all 8 cylinders looked relatively the same. This adds more uncertainty to our diagnosis as we're looking for an outlier here, like a pool of fluid. The only thing that was slightly different in cylinder number 8 was a few little droplets of what was likely fuel sitting on top of the piston. Maybe this is our problem cylinder, but with random misfires on both banks and all the spark plugs looking a bit wet, there's no smoking gun here. The obvious first step here is just to yank our injectors, replace them, and start again. Sounds easy enough. I mean, on a regular car, an injector replacement is like one step past a set of spark plugs, but on this Range Rover, it's a totally different story. This car is direct injected, so its injectors are pressed into the cylinder heads and are sealed with a little Teflon ring. To get them out, there's a special slide hammer tool, which I have, and well, let's just say I've tried this once before. No matter how hard you yank or what method you use, these things are impossible to get out on a cold engine. I've tried the reverse Charlie, the double-handed Doug, a twisty Thomas. No matter what, you'll literally beat the skin off your hands before you beat one of these injectors out of the cylinder. I need help here, and there's only one person I know that has a flawless track record when it comes to injector yanking.
Yes, Sam. What do you want now?
Hey, Ma, got a little problem here. Picked up another Range Rover and the injector's got to come out. Wondering if you could give me a little guidance so that I don't run into a major issue like last time.
Oh, Sam, I know this is tough, but I know a trick to yanking your injectors.
Oh, that's great. If you could just tell it to me nice and slow. That way I can take a few notes.
Okay, honey. Are you ready for this? Stop being a p*** already. And finish a car.
You know, this really isn't a joke. The only other time I've attempted this job, one of the fuel injectors broke in half and got lodged in the cylinder head.
What are we looking at here? That is a broken injector.
Where's the rest of it?
In the head.
And it's not just me that this has happened to. Here's a guy on the Jaguar forums that encountered the same exact issue when he was trying to yank his injectors. The only way to get the rest of the injector out is to take the entire cylinder head off the car and tap it out from the bottom. I mean, you're talking about a whole top-end engine rebuild at this point if things go south. And, well, this car has been sitting in the same exact place for at least the last month and a half. At this point, it might seem like there's no upside to our situation, but looking at things in a positive light, we can find a major upside by using Upside, the free app that gives you cash back when getting gas, groceries, or grub. Upside is super intuitive. When you open the app, it lets you know which gas stations in your area have the best prices and then gives you cash back on top. Once I find the best deal, I tap right here to check in and then just fill up like usual. And that's it. There's no extra legwork. Currently, we are earning 12 cents a gallon cash back on this fill up by just simply checking in and using Upside. I don't have to enter the gas station or show anybody my phone. We're good to go. Well, today must be my lucky day. Besides the 12 cents a gallon I just got back, someone left a bunch of change right here on this post. Now, while I can't guarantee that you'll find spare change by using Upside, I can guarantee that new users will get $5 or more cash back on their first purchase of $10 by using my free link down in the description box. And think about this. My pickup truck has a 35-gallon tank. If Upside gets us 12 cents back per gallon, I just earned enough to pay for a king-size pack of cookies and a drink. And when it's time to collect, you can get cash back straight to your bank account through PayPal or even redeem it for really useful gift cards at places like Amazon and Walmart. So whether you're filling up, eating out, or grabbing your groceries, make sure you get some cash back and get it with Upside. Download it totally free by using my link down in the description box. Remember, new users, you're going to get $5 or more cash back on your first $10 spent with Upside. All right, the rail is unbolted, so I should just be able to kind of tug upward on it and pop it off the injector seals, but might not be that easy. Let's see here. Of course, this wiring harness is getting in our this thing is a pain in the God, I can't even believe this. We're not even at the injectors yet. We're stuck at pulling the fuel rail out of place. And it's funny because the service manual is like, lift the fuel rail out of place. It is stuck on there. So I can't wait to get to the injectors. But I've even tried using these giant pry bars. I've got wood out here to make sure I'm not resting up on any plastic. I've seen someone prying on, I don't remember if it was one of our old injectors or whatnot, but I say someone, you guys are gonna think it's me. I swear it wasn't me. They pried on the valve cover, obviously destroyed it, and then I had to buy a new valve cover, and well, if you gotta do the valve covers, the whole top of the engine has to be disassembled. We wanna try and avoid that, so it's time to start thinking smarter. Yeah, that's smarter. So we're gonna try and cherry pick this fuel rail up and out of the car. Before we do that, well, the car's sitting a little too low to roll the picker underneath it. Luckily, this has a built-in air jack, AKA an air suspension, that seemingly works because the car's not completely slammed. I've got my battery pack hooked up to a trickle charger right now because this battery is quite weak. Hopefully we got enough juice just to raise the suspension up real quick. Do still have the fuel pump relay out of the truck, so if it tries to prime, it won't be shooting fuel everywhere. All right, let's try this out here. Just want to go key on, and then we want to go up. I think this is up. Can we go up? Start engine to raise vehicle. Thanks a lot. What a nightmare this car is. Ratchet strap around just the fuel rail. It's a bundle of mess down there. Let's go ahead. We'll pump this a few times and see if it works. There it is, baby. Here it is right here. What's really crazy is that no fuels come out at all. Look, that's probably why these were so difficult to get off. They're just dry as could be. And it's probably because, again, we've got a mechanically stuck open injector and it's just dripping in that cylinder. Now we could see the first two fuel injectors on the driver's side here. Look how much garbage is next to the one on the right here. We've got to vacuum all this out. We should spray some penetrating fluid around the fuel injectors and let it sit a little bit, but I'm a bit anxious here. Seeing as how stuck our fuel rail was, I'm a bit nervous right now. This is our slide hammer tool that is made specifically for Jaguars and Land Rovers. It's got this bend in it to get over the strut towers in these cars. And then here's our slide hammer action that we use to yank our injectors out of place. A lot of people report success doing this job, but a lot of people do report that they get stuck in the head and, well, it just ends up being a nightmare and they have to do this forever, like a few hundred pulls of the slide hammer to get them out. I'm really anxious to see how stuck ours are, so I'm gonna try just the first one just right now, and I'm gonna give it maybe 10, maybe 20 pulls to see if it moves at all. If it doesn't, again, we gotta start thinking smarter, because if it's stuck after, say, 20 pulls and it's not moving at all, and we have to do this 8 separate times, well, again, we can't risk breaking something off in the cylinder head. The tool is relatively straightforward. This little guy goes over that top part of the fuel injector, and then this collar goes and seats over it to lock everything in place. And then again, you just start tugging it. Okay, all right, we're on one of them. All right, I think I'm gonna give it a little one of these. Yeah, and that happens a lot. All right, it took me about 20 minutes, but I got it seated back on. Oh, look at that. It came out, not hard. But look at the tip. You could see how they get seized in there. Look at that. Oh my, all right, we're on a roll, baby, got one out. Getting this first injector gave me a really positive outlook on the rest of the job, but in just a few minutes I ran into the inevitable. I spent around 30 minutes trying to pull the second injector on this bank, and it was completely seized, so I moved to the third, also seized. Over an hour in at this point, and I only had one fuel injector out. It's now time we bring back out the muscle. Let's try something a bit different here. You can see I've got the ratchet strap out, hooked back up, and I've got it tied around the base of our puller here. We're going to apply the same exact principle as we did with the fuel rail as we are with these fuel injectors. Let's see if it stays put enough to just pull it out by force. All right. Oh, there it goes. What just happened? Oh, the damn fuel injector's still in there. Whoa. Did it come out? No, it's still in there, darn it. All right, we're just modifying the strategy a little bit. I've got my long bar here, and I'm going to kind of stand off to the side, holding this bar. What happens is once this thing gets a little crooked, the bottom part that slots over the injector just pops right off. So I'm gonna hold it as I am pushing that, which is extremely close to the car. And well, either way, that's not what I'm worried about. I'm worried about getting those out without messing up this engine. All right, here we go. You guys are watching from cherry picker cam. 1, 2, 3, pump. Come on, baby. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Another pump. It's gonna pop now. What the heck? All right, it just pulled up the slide hammer a little bit, but no big deal. All right, here we go. Bar back in. Here goes another pump. Oh, it's still on the injector. Oh, there it goes. Oh, it's out. It's out. Look at that. Look at that, baby. Here we go. Oh my gosh. Oh, did it go? Did it get it? Oh, baby. Oh, well, I shouldn't celebrate yet. I want to make sure we got the whole injector, but it looks like there's something in the tool. Oh my goodness, look at that. Whoa. Oh, we got to be careful now. We got to be really, really careful. Look at this. This was a message from the Land Rover gods that if we continue to fool around, we will find out. You see how bent that is? That is totally my fault. We were pulling it at an angle and it snapped right in the center. This looks exactly like the picture I showed you earlier where the guy got his stuck in the cylinder head. Heck, this is exactly where ours broke when we got our injector head stuck in the cylinder head. So we do not want that. We're lucky that this one came out in one piece. But if we want to continue using the cherry picker, which has been relatively efficient so far, we're going to want to just kind of scoot it over where the wheel is. So we'll probably have to pull that wheel off, but it'll allow us to be much more square over the back injectors. They're in there pretty deep. In order to get to them, well, we're going to have to pull that cowl off right there, and we are losing daylight. I'm going to give my hand a rest from all the yanking and continue in the morning. Go. Oh, what happened? Oh man, the injector's still in there. That didn't work out well. Oh, it just popped. Oh, it popped. Oh no, it's still on there. Come on, here we go. Oh, the injector's still in there. All right, here we go. There's so much crap in the way doing this job. Oh, come on. And oh, yeah, we loosened it up enough. Tugging on it, look at, there it is. Thank God. So, and look, this one also bent a little bit from pulling on it, but didn't crack like the last one. 4 down. Now we gotta go disassemble the other side. Like clockwork. That would be injector number, 1, 3, 5. This is number 5. All right, we are hooked up on injector number 7. I skipped over the first 2 on this side, and that's because the first one came out simply with the slide hammer. The second one, I had to use a cherry picker. Third one, well, obviously you just saw I use a cherry picker, and look at that. Last one in real time. That looks staged, I swear to you. I just got hooked up. That one came out the easiest out of all of them. All 8 are out. It's time to celebrate. Well, and it's time to do a little investigative work. Which one of these suckers was leaking on us? Now, as I've mentioned before, fuel injector can get stuck open, where it's sending too much fuel to a cylinder, or stuck closed, where it's not sending enough fuel to the cylinder. Since modern fuel injectors are electronically controlled, they don't just fail mechanically, but also electronically, and it can happen in either fashion. Considering how much carbon buildup is on the tips of these though, I'm wondering if internally one of these valves is a bit sticky. Initially, I stuck my nozzle lubricant into each injector inlet and sprayed a little. If one of these was completely stuck open, you should see it come through the injector, but it didn't happen on any one of them. Since we're dealing with a high pressure fuel system, our last test probably wasn't all that valid. There probably has to be a lot of pressure being sent through the injector for it to show any sort of leakage. And so we're really limited on how much further we can test these ourselves. There are very expensive flow testing machines that will test an injector like this, but again, we just don't have access to it. What I did find kicking around the shed here was this old school injector tester. Basically, this takes power from a battery and sends it to the injector, and so you should be able to hear it fire, and I think it should work just fine on our injectors. So what I did is I hooked this up, and I did run a little bit of lubricant to the injector as well. Now, I couldn't get the injectors to spray, again, likely because we need a lot of pressure to be sent through them. What I did here was a difference in the valves opening and closing. I set our tester to setting number 4, which is just a constant pulse, and I hooked up each injector. And here's what a normal one sounds like. You can hear it actuating, again, pulsing just fine. I marked every one of these. You can't see because it's in black Sharpie. This is fuel injector number 3. And all of them did this, but guess which one? You can see the signal still says that it's going on the tool, but when we touch it, it only pulses a couple times before it dies out. I think this is fuel injector number 8. Look at that. Now, I hope this all makes sense to you, but it's become a lot clearer to me. It seems like what's happening is the valve inside injector number 8 is just sticky and it's having a hard time opening and closing. And so if you looked at the live data when we were running our Range Rover while it was smoking, you would see the pressures would rise a little bit and then they'd fall a little bit. And so it's just inconsistent behavior from this injector. It's not completely stuck open or completely stuck shut, and that's why we've had a hard time diagnosing it. It just is weak at this point and needs to be replaced. I've gone ahead, ordered a complete set of replacement injectors from FCP Euro. The second they show up, I'll be installing them in the Range Rover and updating you here with a fresh new video. If you're as excited as I am for a cheap autobiography Range Rover supercharged long wheelbase with the executive seating package. Yeah, there's a lot to be contained in this one car. Be sure to hit that like button. Also follow me on Instagram, where I've been posting pictures of new projects before they show up here on YouTube. But actually, you might have seen one of the new projects in today's video if you were paying attention. Guys, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for watching today, and I'll catch you very soon.